All right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention.
Well, I don't know your guys' background completely, but in Michigan, I lived in the trailer park. So I was always poor. So I never thought I'd be successful. It never crossed my mind. So I always had to keep trying and trying. And people were like, dude, you're really doing well. I'm like, no, I'm not. It's going to go away. Someone's going to take it, you know. So I lived like a poor kid most of my life going, someone's going to take this away from me. So I'm going to keep working harder. So for me, I've always been humble enough to know it can be taken away. And so while I'm doing it, I just literally, without being corny and cliche, I appreciate every tour. It teaches me something. And I think as we get older, we slow it down. When you have bands, Dan, in the 20s and 30s, you know what they do. They just party and get crazy and they have women and drugs. I get it all. When I get them in the 40s and 50s, they do want to go to the Louvre and they do want to go to the Vatican. And I'm lucky enough that at my age, I can do these things and enjoy it as opposed to being at the strip bar till 6 a.m. and we got a show the next day. Anybody who says that's fun, it wasn't for me because I don't drink on tour. 2, I don't get involved in any of that stuff. So you're seeing all these drunk idiots be your best friends and slobbering on you when they don't give a shit, except they know you're the gatekeeper. And that's the only reason they're being nice. So once you realize that,
you can't be drinking stuff like that because your senses have still got to be aware because you're there, you're taking care of everything. And people, especially when they start getting under the influence of who knows what, they will start doing stupid things, and you have to really get on your guard that much more. So.
And even if you had a beer, which we can all drink a few beers, it's not going to affect us, our body weight. I'm always going to go, could I have said something different? Did I come off a little aggressive? And this just takes it out of the equation.
Well, the police don't give you enough respect when they smell alcohol on you either, you know.
No, especially if you're
different direction.
Completely. If you're running the show and they're like, you're running this, and I can smell, it, like you said, it goes completely different. But if you can stay diplomatic, sound articulate, and come in and go, sir, I'm so sorry this happened, but you usually can get out. And I have to say that I haven't had a lot of interaction with police except for at shows, and I've had an amazing rapport with them because I'm honest with them. I'm like, listen, 15 years ago, no one wanted you guys around because people were smoking pot and this. Now we want you because of, unfortunately, active shooter protocol and all that. I fucking embrace these guys and go, wherever you want to stand, I want people to see that you're here. And then after the show, maybe you can come say hi to Robert or James. We love that you're here. And when they hear that, it changes their too. Because they're like, their whole life, they're like, oh, stand at the gate, but don't come near. They're fans. You think these cops aren't Zeppelin fans? And if I represent Robert, go, we're so glad you're here. They appreciate that, man. They get it out. And I have guys that are like, I got 3 buddies that are off duty. Can they just come and hang out? I go, absolutely, more the merrier. Come chill by the barricade. I want to see all you guys. And that's the thing. If you think you can do it by yourself, you're an idiot. Because you're outnumbered by 50,000 people, man. If it goes bad, it's going bad, and they're coming after you. So my thing is getting.
What's the craziest thing you've seen on tour?
God, a lot I can't talk about, but just shows are so unexpected. Things can turn so quick. It's usually at festivals where things get out of hand and it's not really involving me or our band. But I think it's, without being bland, it's just, there's always something around the corner that goes, hey, with Coachella, all I do is put out fires every day. I've had bands fighting in the back, like full on your headliner fighting with other bands. I've heard, we've had hip hop acts that brought a lot of extra muscle and carrying, and you're like, oh, dude. So when I see any bands carrying, it can go bad quick. So we usually get the police over there and just have them kind of hang out. It's, what are you going to do if people start shooting? Someone's going to get hurt. So Yeah, lots of unique stuff. But as far as the touring stuff, you know, I've been on planes that everybody thought we were going down. You know, like this was it. This straight out of a movie where everybody's like, "I love you," you know, like, you know, all that stuff. And yeah, I've had singers, none of the ones we've discussed, but when I was younger, just when we get home, I'm buying you a Harley and you're going to move in with me and all that stuff. And most guys the next day would be coming up to him and go, "Wow, I was on the cycle trader and I found a motorcycle." And he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And that guy gets sent home the next day. So it's Groundhog's Day. Anything that happens, you never bring it up. I don't. And, you know, some of the guys have rough nights, have great nights, whatever it is. And I'm just like, no, everything was fine. Well, did it get out of hand? And you're in your head, you're like, you're like, no, you were good, bro. All good. Why should they stress about them? I mean, I tell them, you guys concentrate on what you do great and we'll do the rest. Because if you start thinking about my job, you're not thinking about your guitar solo or whatever you're going to do tonight. Let us take it.
You're not doing it correct either if they're thinking about it. Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And by the way, the singer always sees when it gets a little rough and they'll just give me a look and I'm flying over the barricade to find out what they're looking at. Because if security is rough on their fans, even if it's a band like Metallica, they love their fans. And if a guy's aggressive, I got to get them out quick, just roll them out and just kind of calm things down. Even as intense as some of the heavy metal stuff, there's an etiquette to moshing. There's an etiquette to surfing and doing all that stuff. They take care of each other, man. You know, I don't know if you guys think about this, but a Metallica fan or a heavy metal fan, Anthrax, Slayer, think about this. They're not the most popular people in their town. You know, they're tatted up, they're wearing black shirts, you know, they're at biker bars, whatever, and that's all good. But they're not necessarily got a ton of friends in their town. But when they go to a show, there's 50,000 other people that look like them.
Right.
So they take care of each other. They bond. So if someone goes down, there's 8 guys lifting them up. Someone gets elbowed by accident, everybody's making sure he's okay. There's an etiquette to heavy metal. And we have less incidents than a Taylor Swift show. I swear to God, nothing happens at our shows because everybody takes care of everybody, you know, which I think is really cool. You know, we've had Hell's Angels, all those guys show up. We just talk to them. What do you guys want to get out of the show? Where do you guys want to be? We don't necessarily condone or, you know, sponsor them, but if they're there, man, and they're acting cool to everybody, that's great, man.
Right.
You know,
show them a little bit of respect and they'll show it to you.
Yeah. So one thing was funny. We were in Munich and there was Hell's Angels and they were on the side of the stage and I walked down and all I could do is look at this German guy's white shoes. I was like, you can't be Hell's Angels and wear tennis shoes, man. I kept just pointing. I'm like, you can't have white shoes. You're fucking Hell's Angels, man.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to walk him off the stage because he had white shoes.
Was he HA?
Yeah, no, they were. They absolutely were. Yeah, the German version of it, but they, you know, I'm sure it's a lot different. Right. But yeah, we ran into him. We did a show in Arizona and we had a bunch come on stage like early 2000s. And yeah, you know, fighters, a lot of guys, a lot of UFC fighters love Metallica and Linkin Park and some of the heavy metal bands because that's what they train. Right. I actually am flying out tomorrow morning, so I have to head out soon. But I wanted to ask you guys, as fighters, for whatever reason, rock stars want to be athletes, athletes want to be rock stars. Right. As you know, do you get tons of musicians or any of these guys that look up to you so much just because of what you do, and then find that there's not a mutual attraction, but I know like we keep talking about Clay and a lot of these other guys that love rock bands and rock bands love, you know, athletes. So it kind of goes hand in hand, I would assume. Wonder if you see that a lot or get that a lot.
Ken does. I don't know. It's fun going out with Ken because people don't usually see me. You know, they see Ken. You know, so I get to hide behind Ken and I get to eat my meal, you know, and they're asking him all the questions, you know.
Yeah, but until you talk, and then they know who it is for sure.
Yeah, once you open your mouth, Don, everybody turns around.
Shut the hell up.
Do you see that, Dan? Where just
no, actually, no. I'm actually. It's I have no problems really whatsoever. I'm maybe it's because of the age stage or something like that, or just how I carry myself. I've never had any problems really whatsoever. Just usually people are just happy to see you, and shake your hand.
No, that's what I meant. I didn't mean the negative, like athletes wanting to kind of attach on, or musicians or actors when they know what you do. There's a mutual respect that crosses over.
I look at that whatever anyone does, man. Like you said that the fact that you draw and stuff like that. I look at everyone. Everybody has skill sets, and they have some of the skill sets that they have is they really haven't nurtured it really enough to they might do something else with their career than just simply just doing, like, for example, yourself, the fact that you draw the way that you draw and the coloring and stuff like that. I mean, to me, that's very unique, especially for doing what you do in the security business. So, I mean, it's almost like a contrast of yin and yang right there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
but I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I can't draw to save my life, but
yeah, and I can't do what you guys do. So I think there's always a mutual respect thing that you always envy and also appreciate. I think for me, it's always the work ethic. I know from having friends like Clay and all these, I know how hard you guys work, and that, when I'm doing 80 to 100 hours a week, I don't feel sorry for myself because I know there's someone else working harder, but I don't complain about it because I know how much you have to do to move forward. So
do you have any like social media stuff that you want to push there that people want to?
They can. I think it's fun for people
and follow you.
If they just go to Hellboy Security on Instagram, they can check out the artwork, and we put some cool tour stuff up there too. And then shock that my name's Hellboy Security. What a shock. And then the company's called STS Global, and they can either go to the website or just Instagram STS Global. There's a lot of cool tour shots. We can't really self-promote too much, but a lot of the photos that you see, actual artists and photographers from tours post them, and then I take them off there. I never post my own photos, but if they're already out there in the public, then I'll kind of repost them. And there's some cool Metallica, a lot of cool Metallica stuff and Linkin Park photos. And then the drawings, we're always just trying to do stuff for charity. So if anybody wants to help sell any of these for charity or take them for charity, that's all I do. The last 5 drawings have all been for charity. I'm not trying to make money off that at all. If any of these drawings can be put somewhere where we can raise some money for a good charity, I'm all in. So they can reach me at Hellboy for that.
Let me ask you a question, because you got to be the worst person to do a tattoo for.
Me?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because you're an artist. You can.
Oh yeah.
You can look at the tattoos of that shit. I mean, and once it's on, it's on.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. I do all the actual drawings and then I hand it off to them.
Yeah.
And I had a guy out of London I love. Unfortunately, he passed away, and his protege finished. So I was like, I'm good. I got the chest plate and the dragon on my back and all this stuff. And it's all stuff I did, except for the dragon. This guy was so good. He took a red pen and just did like an S on my back. Yeah. And then he took the gun and did this incredible dragon without anything. Wow. So, yeah. It was really strange. He was only 46 years old, and he had showed up to one of my birthday parties. He's like, good news, I'm getting healthy, because he was overweight. He goes, I'm getting on the program. I'm going to train. And 3 weeks later, he was hanging up ornaments on the Christmas tree, passed away.
Oh,
so
wow.
in a strange way, I have his artwork that I get to show people. But yeah, it's yeah, as we get older, man, it's rough seeing people on tour that are passing away younger than us. So it's like the gym and nutrition is not just for vanity, as you know. It's I want to stick around for a while. And like you said, I want to continue doing this for another 20 years. So
Have you gotten a tattoo that you hate because it looks like shit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the first ones on my back. Yeah, there's a famous artist called Frank Frazetta, and he does all the Conan the Barbarian and all this stuff. And I drew it out perfect. I got home and I was so fucking pissed off, and I called him up and I go, "We got a problem." And he goes, "Sorry, man, I was drinking." So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I've been
Wow.
trying to do a cover up forever, but it's on my back, so I don't see it. So I'm like, it's okay, we're fine. But I'm happy with everything else. Do you guys have stuff that you're like, I think you can cover it up pretty quick if you don't like it, but
no, I don't have any ink. I got too much hair and too many scars, you know.
Yeah, I have a couple really good scars that they had to leave open and not color it in until they healed more, and then they come back and color it in. I had some really nice stitches across my forearm from I had some cancer stuff removed, and I had thick stitches, and they just came back and colored it in. But when I started working with Robert, I was a little uncomfortable and embarrassed to show my tattoos. So for like 2 weeks, I was wearing long sleeve shirts. And I wanted him to like me before he started judging me on tattoos, because he's old school from the 70s. Tattoos weren't the biggest thing. And I kind of lived through a time frame where a lot of people were doing tattoos. So one day it's like 100, and I had to take the shirt and wear a tank top. It was like 95 degrees, and he just kind of stared and he goes, "I don't get it, but it's all good." And then later he started to like it and ask questions about it. But, when you're doing corporate stuff, you got to cover up and wear a suit so you're not really judged. But in rock and roll in general, most people have some kind of ink if you're working on a tour. So there's no judgment there, which is nice. And because I own my own company, I'm not worried about it anymore. Well, listen, it's a real honor talking to you guys. I really, really appreciate it.
I learned a lot. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And I'll tell Mike Beltran and Clay to get their asses over here. They'll have a great time with you guys. And I know they look up to you guys so much. So I know you didn't know me. You took the time to meet me. I really appreciate it.
It's actually great to meet a fellow Michigander there too, Tom.
Yeah,
so I educated me quite a bit there. So I've always asked a lot of questions just because I have true interest in how people can become successful and do what they want to do. And you've been involved in the industry for quite a few years, so it's you obviously you must be doing a good service for your clientele, because they keep bringing you back again and again, and there's no contracts. That's volumes. No contracts.
Yeah. Well, that works both ways too. You can walk off if you're not happy too, which I've done. And I really appreciate Ken introducing us and getting us together. I'll keep an eye on the show. I've watched it and I really enjoy it. And now I'll follow you guys when I'm sitting in some crazy gym in Moscow. I'll just listen to you guys and go, "I know those guys. I know those guys."
So we're gonna do it again if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. My pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. I gotta go hug my dog before he disowns me.
Oh, you better go then. Shit.
Well, then, okay. On this note there, Tom, I'll hit you with Dos Fedonia Moi Drug. Did I say that correctly?
What language are you speaking?
Russian.
Yeah.
Dos Fedonia Moi Drug.
Das Vidania.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. More A's than O's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I tried.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. You got to have that list. That's why. And by the way, I don't do it well, but I'll remember it for like that day, and when I go to the next city, I have to forget that one because that confuses me and go to the next one,
Right.
But when you're in Paris ordering croissants and you sound like an American reject, they laugh at you, but at least you're trying. That's all you can ask, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much for the time.
Thank you.
All right there.
Enjoy it.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you. Yeah.
My pleasure. Thanks so much, man.
Maybe
Have a
don't
great
get
day,
gifts.
guys. Cheers. Oh, check out the artwork. If there's anything you want, I'll send it to you guys.
All right, cool. Thank you.
For sure. Anything. And maybe we'll do a fighter, yeah?
Yeah, you should.
All right. Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Take care, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.